Hello, Lou. Can I get some sound, Lou? Hello? Hello? Thank you. If I could get y'all to take a seat, Holton's going to do a little training, which you know, I want to share something with you right quick before Holton comes up here. I was fortunate enough last week to be out in Dallas with Holton, and he was showing me a lady who had bought $7,000 worth of coffee, and he says, Rick, this lady's on my third level. And I think he's going to talk about that, where the money's at here on the compensation plan. He said, Rick, she bought $7,000 worth of coffee, and I made $351. And I said, Lou, Holton, why would anybody buy $7,000 worth of coffee? And she says she does that about every 90 days. She goes to a fair or some kind of event, and she'll take that $7,000 worth of coffee and turn it into $20,000. Is that unbelievable? And that's why I think this is such a great business, because if you don't like to recruit people, the product, you can go out and make a profit on it. I got a guy that I flew down here from Raleigh. He's going to put it in his center, and he said, we'll make a lot of money just retailing the coffee. So I'm anxious for Holton to lay out the plan here for you and show you what we want to do. And if you're here tonight, we want you to know in my organization or not, this place is available to you. We're one team in OG, okay? So we want to help this thing work. So we want you to come over here, and we want to help you any way we can. Holton Buggs.
All right. All righty. All right. How many of y'all ready to rock? Yeah. All right. Now, this is what we need here, because we're going to get into some training. We need everybody's individual attention. If you've got a sidebar conversation, we need you to go outside or back here, because we're not going to have any distractions and stuff like that. People really want to know how to get financially independent, and you can't distract them tonight. Okay? So so you need to go outside or in the back if you've got still some conversation. If you're still signing up, go in the back with a computer. All right? Now, let's get talking real quick about how this is going to work, how to effectively get off to the best start. We had a chance to meet with the leaders in the back prior to the meeting getting started. I covered some information, went through some stuff, and I'm going to finish up with that. I'm going to finish up with that, and I'm going to show you how really to explode your business starting today, and how to start from zero if you're just getting started, okay? How to start from zero, or how to start from wherever you are and get yourself to whatever level you're looking to get to. Everything that we do in Organo Gold is all predictable. Okay? The way that we build is based off of a system, which means that you can predict your results. There's a certain amount of activity that if you're willing to do it, we know what the results are at the end of the day. Okay? The only thing that separates you from your goal in Organo Gold is whether or not you're willing to do the activity. Okay? And so I'm going to talk to you as if, even if you're brand new, I'm going to talk to you as if you are a leader in this company and not just somebody who's sitting here who's interested. Is that okay? Okay, because I just want to give it like it is. I believe that, just being straight to the point and giving it real is the shortest way to success. I know so many people, they get involved and leaders get on stage and they kind of sugarcoat the truth about what it takes. And I like to just give it to you for real, and then it's up to you whether you want to perform at that level or not. Is that fair? Yeah. All right, so that's what we'll do. Now, obviously we talked today. Everybody's seen the opportunity plan. I want to share with you a couple of concepts. And a matter of fact, I'm going to start off with why coffee is so strong. When you hear what Rick talked about the lady who had ordered 6,000 some change worth of coffee, almost 7,000 in coffee, let me share with you how that worked. Why is it that we're so coffee-centered? Why is it we're so product-centered? Okay? If you look at the compensation plan, and I did not even go through in detail, if you look at the compensation plan, I didn't even go through in detail. Is it off or what? Not working. Hello. Uh-oh. There we go. Where I want to go to. Right. Next one. There we go. All right, now. The lady, just to give you an example, okay, I'm going to share with you one of the biggest aspects of our plan is the reorder part of our plan, okay? The reorders, all right? When I say reorders, that's where your residual income comes from. Now, it wasn't typical for everybody to have that type of quantity of orders. Okay? That's not typical. But I can tell you there were quite a few. There were thousands and thousands and thousands of transactions that happened last month of people who ordered a case of product or higher on a reorder basis. Thousands. Okay? Now, Organo Gold, many of you say, well, Organo Gold has a minimum CV requirement of 50 personal volume in order to qualify for a check. That's true. Well, why would a person and why would all these people buy thousands of dollars worth of product or hundreds of dollars worth of product if the minimum is only 50? That is the beauty of how we operate in our business, is that because our product is so consumable, people are ordering product 3, 4, 5 times a month. How many of you who've already gotten started are out of product already? It's impossible to build Organo Gold the way that we teach it and you keep product. You can't. It's physically impossible. The only way for you to have product remaining after your first 30 days, even if you bought a gold pack. Now, let me give you an example. Rick bought a gold pack plus $25,000 in product. Rick, how long did that product last? It lasted what? Did it last a week? It lasted a week. Why? He's building the business. He's building the business. So I'm going to show you the activity that you should do and that you should teach, and then I'm going to show you the results. I'm going to start with the result first, and then I'm going to back into the activity so that you'll understand why the commissions will actually pay out what they are paying out in Organo Gold. So I went to just one page and showed Rick that the order was let's just call it 6,000 CV. Okay? We all get paid on commissionable volume. 6,000 in volume. That was a reorder. Now, Rick, just to let you know, in the month of February, her order is not the highest order. I've got a lady in Greece who's ordered 8,300 and something worth of product. $8,000 worth of coffee. Let me share with you why I get so excited about that. Some people may look at that and say, wow, you guys are front loading. No. She only has to do 50. But let me tell you why I'm excited about a person. When I see a person who's ordered $6,000 or $8,000 worth of coffee. Did y'all remember during the plan when I said what the markup is on a retail basis? I don't think she's drinking $6,000 worth of coffee. All right? I just don't think she is. All right? So if she's only selling it person to person, marking it up 100%, every time I see a $6,000 order, I see a person who just made $6,000 profit. Hadn't sponsored one person. I see this name in the back office every month. I see quite a few of these names every month because there's people who are involved in our company. They don't know the sponsor. They don't know how. All they know is, I've got a wonderful product. I'm going to sell it. I've got a venue to sell it, and I sell it. That's if she sold it person to person. What if she's selling it at a trade show and she's selling it by the cup? When you sell it by the cup, typically they sell it for 500% markup. Minimum. $30,000 in profit is what I'm seeing every time I see somebody who ordered this. If they're selling it by the cup, I'm looking at somebody who's making a $30,000 income, retail commission, specifically if they're doing it on a monthly basis. Has nothing to do with how many people you've recruited. You can't do that with one other product in the industry of networking. You can't do it with vitamins. Nobody's going to buy $6,000 worth of vitamins from you at 500% markup unless they've overdosed on some other vitamins. Right? It's not going to happen. I'm not putting other companies down. I'm just giving you an example. you can have a $6,000 electricity bill in one of the electricity companies and make less than $5 commissions on it. Yep. Okay. So what we're saying is, when you see this happen, people are making money. The first commission, I told you there's 4 commissions that's released. Let's calculate what happened. That lady was on the 3rd level. If you look at our uni-level comp plan, and I'm going through this to give you an idea of why people are reordering, and then I'm going to share with you how to set yourself up so that this happens for you as well. By the way, those of you, I'm not endorsing or telling anybody to go buy $6,000 worth of coffee. It has nothing to do with that. I'm just giving you an example of what took place here. Now, in this example, 6,000, that lady was on the 3rd level. If you look at our uni-level commission, level 3 pays what? 5%. What's 5% of 6,000? $300 is what the uni-level commission was. Is what the uni-level commission was. But remember, I told you that there's 4 commissions that are released for every box of product or coffee that's resold. Okay, or reorder, that's a uni-level commission. Now, the second commission is a matching bonus. If this lady was on the 3rd level, let's just call it U, all right, and she was on the 3rd level. This is you here, and this is the lady here where the 6,000 was ordered. She's on the 3rd level in this example. Your 3rd level, first paid 5%, 5%, 5%, so you got your 300. But you also get a matching bonus. You can qualify down to 4 levels of a matching bonus. I thought it was better to have 4 levels of matching versus 1. Instead of 50% on one person, what about 20% on your personals and then 10% 3 levels below them? So why, there can be tens of thousands of people within that 4 levels that you get matching bonus on. Watch what happens here. So because this lady was here, you got, with the 6,000, you got the 300. But because you sponsored this person, right? This is on your first level here, right? Right? There we go. This is yes, this is no. All right? So what happened is this here. If this person's on your first level, then she's on his or her, what? 2nd level. So how much commission did this person make from her 6,000? 300. So if this person made 300, you made 20% of their 300. You made $60. Am I right? Now, this person right here is on your 2nd level, but this person is first level to this person. So if this person she's on the 1st level, how much did this person make? $300. Matching bonus you're going to get when you become a Ruby. You qualify for your 2nd level of matching bonus. So you're going to get 10% on this person's $300. So there's another $30. Same coffee. Now, then there's a generational bonus on the same product. They don't have this on this same, the computer's just looking and it sees a value and it starts calculating certain percentages based on that value and where that value is positioned. And I'm showing you how this value relates to you. Now, so what would happen is this here. The generational now kicks in because you've now gotten your matching bonus. You've now gotten your uni-level commission. And now you are, now qualifying in this example for a generational. Our generational bonus says that the first generation you qualify for 2% override on the entire volume of that particular sapphire. That is why it's so important to go sapphire, because that's what starts the generational bonus. That's why we call it a leadership bonus. It's the first level of leadership. Go sapphire, you now are able to tap into that. Now, second generation, let me explain what a generation is. A generation is not a level. This could be you here, you sponsored one, and these right here are levels. Let's say this right here may be 10 levels deep. Let's say this person goes sapphire. That's your first generation. This is the next person that goes sapphire. Even though that's your maybe 8th level, that's only your second generation. Hello. Has nothing to do with levels, generations. So now, let's just assume in this example here, because this is how it actually did work on this one, let's assume this person's your first generation. What happens is this here. This person's a sapphire. Let's say this one's a sapphire, and this person's a sapphire. So that would be first generation, second generation, third generation. On your third generation, first generation, you'll make 2%. Second generation, you make 3%. Third generation, you make 4%. So the company's going to say, uh-oh, we got to pay you some more money on this same volume because it's on your third generation. We're going to pay you not a percentage of the percentage, but we're going to pay you a percentage of the total. So that $6,000 will generate 4%. That will be another $240. Hello. Now, we ain't finished. Then we have the next bonus that kicks in, regardless of whether this is in your group or not. That is why we work as a team. You should be rooting for the person next to you to build just as big of a business as you're willing to build. Okay? Because this bonus kicks in. This is a quarterly bonus. It's calculated monthly. Like you'll notice in your back office, you'll see the Ruby bonus, and at the end, you'll see a minus. Because it's calculated monthly, but paid out quarterly. So they put a minus there because whatever the total is, they don't pay it out monthly. So they just minus the same amount so the computer won't pay it out to you until the third month, and now they pay out all 3 months at one time. Those are what we call OG holidays. Because what OG is going to do is they're going to take the worldwide, not just your group, all the volume in the world, 17 countries of reorder volume, and they're going to take 3% of that. This qualifies as a reorder. So just from this one transaction that she made, 3% of this, or $180, is going to go into the global pool for rubies and above. So all 180 doesn't come to you, but there's a percentage of it that obviously that you do get. But when you look at it, that's not bad. Off of one transaction. So let's add it up, 360, 390. So that's, what, 630? So that's $630 before the global pool. What company you know of is going to pay you 10% on somebody's volume that you don't even know who they are? You didn't even sponsor them. Now, I'm going to give you a comparison here. Okay, where's Rick? I want to make sure he don't mind me giving this comparison. I'm not saying this in a negative light of the comparison. I'm just kind of giving you something that you may have been used to before. All right? I was going to do it anyway. You mind if I give them a comparison of a transaction-based business versus a volume-based business in this case? Let me give you an example for those of you who are used to a transaction-based business. Rick was involved, obviously, with the company that every month a distributor would pay $50, the same minimum that's required over here. And the company, the compensation plan, but by the way, and I'm not talking bad about it, Rick made millions of dollars with that comp plan. But it would pay out $2. It's not bad. That's not a bad thing, okay, at all. $2 is what you made off of that 50. But I asked Rick, let me ask you a question. How many of those website hostings could you buy? Were you allowed to buy? He says, only one. I say, could you take yours and sell it to somebody else? He says, no. I say, so what you're telling me is that every month that person on your third level, the maximum that they were worth to you was a $2 bill. Financially. Yep. Now, how much profit did they make from paying their 50? Rick? Zero. You couldn't sell what you paid for. You couldn't sell it. I say, so Rick, what you're telling me is that me and OG, or you and OG, talking to you guys, based off of where Rick was in a transactional compensation plan, Rick would have needed 315 people in his organization on his third level to equal the commissions of what one person allows you to generate in Organo Gold based off of this right here. Do y'all really understand what I'm talking about? Okay? And again, this is not a put down. There were people who made fortunes in that company. Okay? But people always ask, well, how in the world can each person make so much money and they don't have a lot of people in their group? Because this is not a recruiting machine. It's a volume-based business. It's not a transactional-based compensation plan. And you want that. Why? Because the Attorney General wants to know that people are consuming product, not just that you're recruiting a lot of people. Okay? So the average order, people are ordering product multiple times per month. And I think the last that I looked, over $270+ per person is what the average was when the minimum is only 50. What does that mean? That means that people are electing to purchase product because they're selling it, not because they need it for qualifications. Does that make sense? Okay, now, so if this is the case, if you know you get paid on volume versus the transaction, how many of you believe that it would be wiser to have a business that creates more volume per transaction? Right? That's what our system has been designed to do. It's been designed to create more volume per transaction. So let me go ahead and back into back into this and get to the 4 steps. Is it you who's working this, or is it me? I'll put this down if it's you who's working it, because when I click, it's delayed. Click. I'll do it with no hands. I bet it's still turning, ain't it? One more time. One more time. One more time. One more time. Back. Back it up. Back it up. Let's go to the 4 steps. This is the 4 questions. There we go. Does somebody want a clicker? It doesn't work. All right. Now, so let's talk. I want to go ahead and explain this. I didn't have a chance to do it the last time I was here. Now, after every presentation that you do as a group presentation, the four steps is what you want to train on. So Rick, every Tuesday night when we're here, after the end of the meeting, we get all those people who sign up and we go over the 4 steps to success. And what you want to do is you want to allow the new Sapphires to be able to train on this and go over this. And it should take no longer than about 12 minutes to go through. Okay? Tonight, I'm going to do it a little longer because I'm giving you the philosophy behind it versus just going through it. But when you're doing your regular meeting, it should be no longer than 12 minutes. You can't keep people here as long as I'm going to keep y'all here tonight. Okay? But as I told the people in the back, if Donald Trump was here doing a real estate seminar, you stay here to 3 in the morning to learn how to buy his $5,000 course. So you can go to the next course, which is $10,000. All right? We stay here all 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. We're going to show you how to start with the gold pack. And if you want to, you can create wealth. And you can do it in a short period of time. We've got people in our company who's setting records in the entire industry of the entire network, not just Organo Gold, the entire industry. Okay? People look at him and say, well, how many people you got in your group? And they tell them, they're like, how in the world can you make that with only that many people? Because of what I just showed you here. Okay? Now, let me give you an example. The average order, I believe the last time I checked, the average order per person in network marketing is $35 a month. If we're doing $275, that means that we're doing almost 10 times the volume, which means that we need 10 times fewer people to make the same income. Or another compensation plan, if a person over here has 6,000, another comp plan would need 60,000 people. Hello. How many of you would rather have to build 60,000 versus 6,000? So let me show you how to make this work for you, okay? Let me show you how to make this work for you. What I'm going to show you right now, it's not a secret at all. People wonder, what are you guys doing? This is what we're doing. This is all we've taught. We don't get into these high-impact trainings and come out and give you all the psychology of what I call the 51 ways to confuse a distributor. The 4 steps to success. It's simple. That's why we say it's easy, it's simple, it's coffee. We never said it's easy, it's complicated. It's coffee. It's easy, it's simple, it's coffee. First things first. The very first and the most important thing, first step in Organo Gold, is to submit your testimonial of what the product has done for you. And you do that, let your sponsor know within 48 hours. You say, is that the first thing you want me to do? Absolutely. Why is that? Remember, the goal that you should have is to build a community of coffee drinkers that will pay you long after they stop making money in the comp plan. How many of y'all know everybody will not make money in our comp plan? That's just the way it is. Did everybody who enrolled in high school with you graduate? Some of y'all didn't graduate, right? All right? But that's just how it is. All right? So everybody's not going to finish. Everybody starts, but not everybody finishes. But one of the things that we do know is this. When a person gets attached to our product and they know why it worked for them, they'll never stop drinking it. They'll never stop drinking it. Okay? So that's the first thing, is to build a strong consumer base. That's the first objective that we want to build, is to build a consumer base. That's what will pay you for a lifetime. Not a recruiting base, a consumer base. Okay? Now, the second thing is to set yourself on the appropriate auto ship. Auto ship is a monthly volume that's reoccurring on the 1st of the 15th. One of the purposes for auto ship is to make paying a commission to you a legal transaction. If we paid you commissions and nobody sold any product, that's called a pyramid or an illegal one. So there has to be product that you have sold, each person must have sold, in order to qualify for a commission. It's something that you should embrace. Most of you, like I was, have been taught You don't want to get into a product-based company because they'll put you on auto ship and the stuff will stack up in your garage. And guess what? It's true. Except when you're in Organo Gold. Now, it can stock up in your garage. We've got a few people who've joined what we call the OG Secret Service. They keep their coffee a secret. Okay, and they service no customers. And so they just, that's how it will stock up. It's almost impossible to use our system and have coffee left over. Doesn't happen. Okay? So, second thing here, set yourself up on the appropriate auto ship. Now, how many of you have the gold pack? Raise your hand. You've got the gold pack. And now at the gold pack, just to let you know, or even the silver pack, if your auto ship is less than 100 CV, you have made your silver or your gold pack null and void. What do you mean? Well, the volume that comes along with the silver and the gold pack, we don't pay you the 15% or the 20% because you bought a gold pack. No, we pay you because that volume of coffee purchase had a certain amount of volume that qualified you as a consultant. And the following month, to be qualified as a consultant must generate 100 personal volume. And if you don't, you're not a consultant. And if you don't, your commissions next month will be at 10%. No big deal. If you build the business the way I'm going to share with you, $100 worth of coffee won't be enough at all. That's why I told you the average people are doing way more volume. Okay? So you set yourself up on the appropriate auto ship. Now, I have to tell you this. I'm the VP of sales, so I have to give it to you the what I call the compliant way of explaining this, all right? And it is true. Auto ship is not a requirement, but success isn't either. Okay? Auto ship, we can't force anybody to be on auto ship. We really can't, all right? But let me give you my opinion. I can give you my opinion. When I have a person who doesn't want to commit to at least a monthly activity of product sales, they probably won't get much of my time because they're not really serious about being involved in business. Do you think McDonald's will allow you to buy a franchise if you weren't willing to invest in buns? No. If you own a Starbucks, do you think that you may have to have a recurring order of cups every month? What about the little sleeves? You have to be on auto ship for those, right? Yeah. This is no different. It's a business. It's a business, okay? The other benefit of auto ship is that it actually allows the company to project what's going to be sold to allow us to control inventory. So if we have it if you have it on auto ship, we can run a report and we can see, oh, there's going to be $15 million of latte that's on auto ship this month. But if we didn't know and everybody just randomly placed orders, it would be very difficult to control inventory, which would drive up Organo Gold's costs because we would have to warehouse unnecessary product of everything we have, which means we need bigger warehouse space, more employees to do what's really simple for each person is to control their own business through an auto ship module. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay? Hope that makes sense to you. So remember, now, $100. I had a person before, they asked me, says, well, listen, you mean to tell me I have to do $100 a month in order to be involved in Organo? I said, no. I said, but listen, I want you to understand, and everybody, you should be able to say this. Listen, I told her, I said, ma'am, you're being sponsored by me. You're being sponsored by the best. You mean to tell me working with me, you don't believe you'll make $100 in profit in 30 days? I suggest that you just be a retail customer right now. And I grabbed their application. I said, you're probably not ready for the business side of this. And when I grabbed that application and almost took it from her is when she grabbed it back and said, no, I'm just asking. I just want to know. Okay? Because you have to be real with people. Stop telling everybody you can get involved, don't have to do much. Just talk to one person and you'll make $1 million for every one person you talk to. No, I'd be honest, and I'm known for blowing people, I'd rather blow you out and tell you it's going to be one of the toughest things you'll ever do for a short period of time. But it'll be the biggest rewarding thing that you'll ever do for the rest of your life. So yeah, there's a tough part to it. Okay, there's a real tough part to it, and that is whatever it is you got to go through to build your business, or whether it's talking to people, whatever. That's the worst it gets. Okay, but it's a business. Be willing to put whatever you got to do into your business. If you want a lot out of it, be willing to put a lot into it. That's just a philosophy of mine. All right. Now, second part of this here is this one here. Eric, bring me a box of latte and a box of black, please. Eric, he's got it. Okay, now, so the second thing is this here. This is what's got to happen. This is a part of the system here. Let me share with you how to identify a successful meeting. A successful meeting is not a meeting where everybody signs up. I can sign them up with the best of them. Signing people up is the easiest thing in the world. All you got to do is share with them the opportunity. It just makes sense. People want to get involved. All around the world, people are getting involved. Last month, over almost 30,000+ people joined us. So we don't have a shortage of people to sign up. Okay? Now, let me share what happens. When you get a new person into the business, the first thing that I do with them, now this is still part of step one, is that when I get them started in the business, I want to make sure I sell them 2 boxes of coffee. What's your name, ma'am? Lorna. Lorna, let me ask you a question. Do you want to build a business slow or do you want to build it fast? She says fast. I want y'all to write down that question, because there's purpose behind what I asked and how I asked it. I always get permission from a person to lead them in the beginning. I ask them a question. Do you want to build Lorna, do you want to build a business slow or do you want to build it fast? Why do I say fast last? Because people will always remember and repeat the last thing that you said. Don't ask, do you want to build it fast or do you want to build it slow? That's not what I said. Do you want to build it slow or do you want to build it fast? She says fast. Great. Guess what? 100% of the time, I always get them to say fast. This is the last thing I said. Great. Well, Lorna, you know it takes typically about 5 to 7 business days for your product to come in. That's pretty slow. Would it be okay with you if I show you how to make some money tonight? She says yes. Great. Here, I want you to take these 2 boxes of coffee, and I want y'all to really understand what I'm doing. This is what I do all the time. I want you to take these 2 boxes of coffee, Lorna. You can write me a check for $34 or you can give me cash. By the way, I'm not even going to charge you shipping. Okay? And I released the coffee to Lorna. Why? Possession is 9/10 of the law. She owns it. Okay? I'm giving you some stuff. I'm going through it slowly for you so that you understand why these numbers, why the numbers of reorders are the way they are. Because of how we build the business. So now what, Lorna just bought 2 boxes of coffee. Now some of you probably saying, well, Holton, she just paid $1,300 for a gold pack, and you mean to tell me you're going to hit her up for another $34? Yes. The business. Do you think I was going to tell Rick, oh, Rick, I know you just bought a gold pack. You don't need 25,000 of coffee. You only need, just buy 2 boxes. Okay? No. I have people tell me, hey, listen, you know what, Holton? Well, you know what? You know the economy is really bad, and some people just don't have it, and they're just broke, and it's just, not right that get them in and then ask them to buy 2 boxes. I say, find me the person who's the economy bad for. Show me a person. I say, that person's really bad. I say, ma'am, you need to buy 4 boxes. Okay? You got to stop being weak and easy on people, thinking you're helping people by being easy on them. Now, don't be a jerk. Nobody's your employee. You're nobody's boss. But you get paid for leadership, not for catering to a person's weakness. But what I just did for Lorna, most of you don't know it, I just actually put the opportunity for her to make $800, and I just put it into her hands. She doesn't know it, but I'll show it to her. Now, let me share with you how all of this goes and how all of this works. So now I just gave her those 2 boxes, told her to write me a check for $34. or give me cash. And by the way, I'm not going to charge you any shipping. You need to write that part down. There is a reason why I said that. And there's only one way you will be able to say what I just said. We set this thing up, Rick. It's so perfect the way we set it up. Every aspect of our business, when you take one aspect out of it, it's kind of like dominoes that set up. If you pull one domino out, the chain stops. If you take one aspect of our system away, it stops. Now, what happens is the only way I can say this, that I won't charge you shipping, is because I am personally on a case on auto ship. We set it up is that when you're on a case of product, OG doesn't charge you any shipping. Hello. Now, the other thing is this. If you see up here where the next step, and I'll get to it in a second, where step number 2, it says learn the 4 questions, right? Do you or anybody you know drink coffee or tea at least occasionally? How do you drink your coffee, black or cream and sugar? Who's your favorite brand, and when's the last time they paid you a commission to drink it? So now, Lorna says she wants to make money tonight or tomorrow. Guess what happens? If Lorna does not have any coffee, can she ask the 4 questions? No. So if I don't do my job to sell it to her, she's going to go to work tomorrow or wherever it is she's going to go, or to the gym or wherever it is she goes. She's going to go there tomorrow, and she's going to blab about Organo Gold, and she's going to try to sell everybody on this concept instead of doing it how we suggest, giving them a sample. This is why I give her 2 boxes of coffee and make her pay for it. I don't say, here, Lorna, I'm going to be easy on you. Here, I'm going to give you 2 boxes, and when your gold pack comes, give me your 2 boxes back. That's called trading volume. I don't do it that way. So now she's got it. So now let me give you an example here real quick. This is a sign of a successful meeting. Okay? Not how many people who sign up those gold packs. We had a lot of them sign up tonight. A sign of a successful meeting, this is what I look for. People leaving here like this. All right, Brenda. All right, Rick. I'll see y'all Tuesday. I got to CJM at my house on tomorrow, so I'll see y'all later. If they're able to only wave with one hand, I did my job. If they're leaving here and they're waving like this, I didn't do my job, because they don't have 2 boxes of coffee. They're going to go out, and the world is going to eat them alive tomorrow. They've got to have something to hold on to tomorrow. Okay? So those 2 boxes of coffee, that's it. All right? Everybody get me here? Okay? So now you're probably saying, okay, well, that $100 a month. Man, you mean to tell me it's going to start stocking up? I can see it. $100 a month, that's 6 boxes. That means after 4 months, I got 24 boxes sitting in my... No, it don't work that way. I'm going to get to it in a second, where we talk about booking 4 CJMs. I'm going to show you how all of this rolls into play, and how it's almost impossible to buy enough coffee. You can't. If you're building, now if you're sitting watching, you can have enough coffee if you're a watcher. If you're a builder, no. Okay? So make sure every person that you enroll, that you personally sell them their first 2 boxes of coffee. You're setting them up for success. If you ever sponsor somebody and they leave without buying 2 boxes of coffee, in my opinion, what you just told them is, hey, I wish you failed. Because you're not equipping them. They're not armed. This is a product-based business, sample-based business. They've got to have some samples. All right? Now, everybody understand step number 1. Do y'all see the psychology and the purpose behind why we do what we do? Now, step number 2 is build a list of contacts, 50 coffee drinkers, 50 business builders. Why do we want you to build 50 coffee drinkers? Because right here, we want you to have 10 serviceable coffee customers per month that are buying coffee from you every single month. Minimum 10. How many of you believe that in your neighborhood there's at least 10 people that are drinking coffee? How many of you believe you can at least get 10 people in your neighborhood, forget about joining the business, to be a customer of yours? That's it, just to be a customer. Okay? So we want you to build a list of 50 coffee drinkers, people that you know of who drink coffee. We have a coffee sales script. Let me share with you how it works. It has a 95% success rate. Go to the next page real quick, and I'm going to come back to this one. Go to the one that says coffee sales script. Next one. Next one. There we go. It's in the presentation book. It works just like this. I'm going to kind of paraphrase it. What's your name, sir? Rodney. I'm calling up Rodney because I just got started in OG. I got started in OG, and first time in networking or whatever it may be, it doesn't matter. Everybody needs to do this. I did it to set the example. I showed my group exactly how it worked, and I did it in front of them. So I call up Rodney. Rodney's a buddy of mine. He's on my list as a coffee drinker. Call up Rodney. Hey, Rodney, how you doing? This is Holton. Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Hey, Rodney, listen, the reason that I'm calling you is I need your help. I actually just started a coffee company, and I started with 3 flavors of coffee. And I need you to become one of my first preferred customers. Now, Rodney, before you say yes, if you like the coffee, I'll show you how to get it at wholesale. If you don't like it, I'll never ask you to buy anything from me again. Can I count on you to buy at least 2 boxes of coffee? What is he going to say next, though? How much does it cost? You want him to say that. Great. Rodney, it's about $1.10 a cup. I like to start you off with at least 2 months' supply. $34 a box. That's it. Now, I tell people all the time. I had somebody the other day told me, I don't have enough money for a gold pack. I say, you sure? I say, yeah. I say, if money was no object, would you get it? She says, yes. This is what I told her. I said, listen, do you have a cell phone? She said, yeah. I said, you have phone numbers in that cell phone? She said, yeah. I said, do you have 20 people in your cell phone who like you? She says, yes. To get those 20 people's names out, let's use this script. I said, let me ask you a question. If you own and were starting a restaurant, those 20 people, if you call them and say, hey, listen, I'm having opening day at my restaurant, and I really want to invite you down you want to be my first customers and, just come and buy a meal, just patronize me. I said, well, they come. She says, absolutely. They come. That's who you need to call, those people. So what happened is this here. She called 20 people. What happens is this here. They buy 2 boxes of coffee. That's 40 boxes of coffee, right? What's 40 times, let's say 35? About $1,300. That's your gold pack right there. We've taught people how to sell their gold pack and product before the gold pack even got there. Using this coffee sales script. You just call up telling somebody, hey, listen, you know what? I just need your help. I just started a coffee company, and I started with 3 flavors of coffee, and really I'd like for you to become one of my first preferred customers and buy a box or 2 of coffee from me. Listen, before you say yes, if you like it, I'll show you how to buy it at wholesale. If you don't like it, I'll never ask you to buy anything from my company again. Can I count on your support? Oh, sure. Sure. This is what we do, ladies and gentlemen. This is real simple here, okay? This is how we have people who get involved in our company. I don't have the person who can come up to me and says, I got an OG and I lost money. You can't lose money unless you forget where you put your coffee. All right? So let's go back to the 4 steps again. Go back. There you go. Now, so 50 coffee drinkers, 50 business builders. You want to go ahead and put that list down, okay? The purpose for the 50 business builders is if you're looking to build a network, don't build a list of 5 people. 5 people is going to just frustrate you. You need at least 50 on the list. I put 420 people on my list when I first got started. Only 10% of them got in. How many of y'all think it was enough? Okay. If you're looking to build a big business, you're going to need to make sure that you have a lot of people in your business who are doing a lot of transactions. So 50. Why do I want 50? I asked Rodney, do you want to make money slow or do you want to make money fast? He says fast. Rodney, let me ask you a question. If I show you how to put $500 in your pocket on Wednesday, could you guarantee me 10 people at your house? Sure. Sure. If I show you how to make $500 on Wednesday, could you guarantee me 10 people at your house? He says, sure. Rodney, listen, I'll show you how to make $2,000 for the remainder of the month, for the whole month. And what we'll do is the next 3 Wednesdays will make up the difference. Let's do it. So, watch this here. This is when I'm going to go to step number 3. Book 4 coffee and jazz mixers. On Wednesday, I just booked one, didn't I? But how many did I really book? 4. The next 3 Wednesdays after the first one, we're going to make up the difference. So I just booked 4 coffee and jazz mixers. But I asked him, could he get 10 people at his house? How am I going to guarantee him 10 people? This is how. I said, make 50, a list of 50. Let me share with you what these numbers, how they work. I want to manage expectations for everybody. This is something any and everybody can do. Now, let me be real candid with you. You don't have to have a beautiful home to do a coffee and jazz mixer. But if you want a beautiful home in the future, you need to do coffee and jazz mixers. Get over the fact of, well, I live in a 1-bedroom trailer and 3 of the wheels are broken. Get over that. Invite them anyway. It doesn't matter, okay? It does not matter. People want to see where you're going. They don't care about where you currently are. I'm just letting you know. I don't care about where somebody is. I'm excited about seeing the fire in their eyes about where they're about to go. Do you know right now in Organo Gold that in Chicago, Illinois, we have a couple who was homeless, not evicted, homeless. They're emerald consultants in our business today, and they're 6-figure income earners. So there's nobody in here who can give me an excuse as to why you can't build the business. We have a lady who's 74 years young over in Dallas, Texas. Her name is Gloria Martinez, and she's a diamond in our company. She was on food stamps. Okay, she had she sold her car to get an Organo Gold. Her car was worth $10,000. She got $4,000 for it. First person who would give it to her is what she took. Her daughter got killed last year, left her with 4 babies. Now, here's a 74-year-old lady raising now 4 babies, and I think the oldest one was 7 years old. Her house is about to be foreclosed on. She's on food stamps. Nobody would help her, and she was sick. Now she got these 4 babies. She went out and started doing coffee and jazz mixers. Now she's a diamond in Organo Gold. In January, she stood on stage and she told people, I think she had over 7,000 people in her organization right now. She's 70-plus years old, and she says, I don't know what's wrong with these young people, and they're just sitting around lazy, and I'm driving up 5 hours one way to do coffee and jazz mixers, and some of the young people won't go around the corner and do it. She's 74 years old. I can't even tell you how much money she makes, but it's a lot. I mean, it's really, really, really a lot. Okay? Put it this way here. If she doubles her income next year, she'll make over $1 million a year. 74 years young. Okay? Oh, by the way, the house that was almost foreclosed on, she's paid it off. Just went and bought her another Mercedes-Benz. Rick paid cash for it. Okay? So no excuses. Don't want to hear no whining and no excuses about, well, I don't know, my grass hadn't been cut, the hurricanes might come. Just do it, all right? Now, so you build a list of 50 business builders. This is what happens here. This is how I get Rodney to get 10 people at his house. I want to manage expectations. Remember, I asked him, if I show you how to make 500, would you guarantee me 10 people? He says, yes. Rodney, listen, I'm taking him through the 4 steps when he got started. Rodney, can you put together a list of 50 people? Let me share with you how to have 10 people at your house, okay? You build a list of 50, this is what's going to happen, Rodney. Okay? In order to have 10 at your house, you're going to need to have 25 to 30 people to promise you that they're going to be there. I tell them the truth. Why? Because it's nothing worse than Rodney having 10 people sitting there, but he invited 30, and he's stalling the meeting, waiting on the other 20. He's down in the dumps thinking that it's a bad meeting. I'm sitting up there jumping for joy. I'm fired up and excited because I know it's a numbers game. Oh, but Rodney, in order to have 25 to 30 people to tell you they're going to be there, okay, to confirm, you're going to need to have anywhere from 30 to 35 people that you have talked to. Because everybody is not going to be available. Everybody's not going to come. So I'm going to say, hey, I'm not going to be in town, whatever it is. Rodney, in order for you to have 30 to 35 people that you have physically talked to on the phone, you're going to need a list of how many people? 50. We've worked this out. I've been doing this 23 years. I know the numbers. It's all predictable. So you build a list of 50. When he does that and he does it like I show him, I already know 10 people is going to show up at his house. Now, this is how I've invited people. Let me give you an example, some invites. I'm going into some in-depth training here because I want you guys to understand how simple to keep this. Now, so if I'm calling Rodney up about Organo Gold, there's a couple things that I've used. You got to remember who it is that you're talking to. All right? When you're talking to close friends, people that you've got credibility with, if you have credibility with them, then you can include yourself in what you're about to do. What do I mean by credibility? Means that they know that you are a successful person and that whatever it is that you typically do is going to be successful. That was not the case for me when I got started in networking. That's why I failed miserably, because I was always including me in the equation. I didn't know that they were looking at me the way they saw me. They saw me as little old Holton, who's, 6 months behind on visa. He's got an Eagle Talon that's two-tone, real rust, and green, with body cancer, trying to talk to me about a business opportunity. That's what they saw. I had zero credibility with them. So when I would talk to them about the things that I'm doing, in the back of their mind, they're like, hold on for a second. I might be there. I might show up. If you've succeeded and people know that you have a measure of success, has nothing to do with how much money you've made, but they know that whatever you participate in, you typically get results, then you can talk a little bit about what you're about to do. If not, you need to talk and pass the credibility on to somebody else or some other concept outside of you. So let me give you an example. I would call Rodney up. Rodney, let me ask you a question. Rodney says, yeah. Rodney, knowing what you know today about Starbucks, if you had a chance to invest 10 years ago, would you have done it? Yes. See, that has nothing to do with me. Does it? Well, Rodney, listen. Obviously, that opportunity in Starbucks may have passed us. I have a gentleman that I'm working with right here. His name is Rick Ricketts. He's brought another coffee opportunity that I believe is bigger, better, and creating more millionaires than Starbucks. Tuesday night over on Belcher Road. Let me ask you a question. Can you clear your calendar? I might be able to squeeze you in and get you a seat. There's a few people who's going to be there, and we're going to talk about some concepts. Yes, I'll be okay. What if he says, well, maybe? How many of you have ever had people tell you maybe? Or how many of you have had people say, well, tell me what it's all about? When they tell you that, guess what you do? You fold up and you start explaining. Oh, well, it's this Ganoderma mushroom, and it's over there in China, and if you take it, you'll live 50 years longer. You've already lost them. Okay? When they say, well, what is it all about? It's about making more money you've ever made. Is that something that you have an interest in? Yes or no? That's what it's about. Can you give me some details? All those details will be discussed 7:30 on Tuesday night. I need you to tell me more. More will be discussed on Tuesday night at 7:30. Well, before I come, I need you to just give me more information. Well, I guess you're not coming. I'm sorry, Joe. I was mistaking you for one of the sharpest people that I knew. I called the wrong number. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Now, I'm not telling you to be rude, but I'm letting you know when you're calling, don't let people jerk your chain. You got to have an element of posture. Don't be a jerk. Don't be rude. But don't fold in and let them make you tell them everything about the opportunity. Okay? It doesn't work that way. When you hold your ground, people will always come back, well, you know what? I was thinking, I'll show up. But you've got to have an air of professionalism and strength about what it is that you're about to do. Now, if you are a business person, let me give you what I call the business person invite. This is what I did when I was talking to some of my neighbors. Remember, you have to speak the language of the people that you're prospecting. If you're not speaking their language, they don't hear you. They don't understand you. It's no different than if I was standing here and I was speaking Russian. You hear the words, but you have no idea. There's no connection. Even in the English language, there's still a certain language that you've got to connect with certain people. Okay? So if I'm talking to a business professional, somebody who has already been successful, somebody that I admire in business, if I'm calling them, I call them up. Hey, Rodney. Hey, listen, you got a quick second? Rodney, listen, the reason I was calling you, I don't know if you're familiar with what's going on with me lately, this latest project that I've launched. But listen, I'm a part of a group. I'm a part of a group. It's bigger than me. I'm a part of a group of people who are the first to bring a concept of healthier coffee to Florida. You are a part of a group. You're part of it. Who's the first people to do it? Or to North, what I was saying in the beginning is I'm a part of a group who's the first to bring a concept called healthier coffee to North America. What we've done is we've actually created a system that's designed to capture 1% of the coffee industry. Rodney, that represents about $125 million a month in coffee sales. We're actually going to do that in the next 3 years. But what we've also done is we've actually partnered with the manufacturer who's agreed on a 50-50 split. They're going to take 50%, and then they're going to share 50% of it with us, our marketing team. That's $62.5 million per month in 3 years, Rodney, that we're going to be splitting. Rodney, based off of what I've said about, based off what I've just explained to you, would you want to get more information on the coffee, the opportunity, or both? Great. Listen, 7:30, I'm going to be meeting with one of the top executives in the entire company over in Clearwater, over in Belcher Road, 7:30 sharp. There's going to be a few executives over there. We're actually going to explain it now. Don't get too excited. You might not even qualify to work with us right now. Okay? But I'll give you the opportunity to come. We'll talk, and at the end, we'll see if there's an opportunity on both ends here. I'm talking to a business person that way. See, you gotta take it away just a little bit. When you give it to them so easily, if getting rich was nobody gives away $1 million ideas. So successful people, when you just make it so easy, they repel because they know how hard they had to work for theirs. Nobody just gives it away. Y'all see the language I'm using with? Now, another one is this one here. If you roll frank with the person, you know them on a regular basis, this is one of the ones that I used often. Hey, Rodney, let me ask you a question. If I found a way to make a fortune on the internet that takes 6 to 12 months, would you want to know about it? Sure. Listen, I can't explain the details right now. As a matter of fact, I've got a couple other people I've got to call 7 o'clock. Can you clear your calendar 7 o'clock on Tuesday night to meet with me? What is it all about, Holt? It's about making a fortune on the internet the next 6 to 12 months. Is that something you want to know about? I need to know quick. Okay? So you just got to, you remember, you're a business person. Okay? So those are some of the invites that I've used ones like this. Rodney, let me ask you a question. You and I go way back, right? Have you ever known me to be in anything illegal, immoral, or unethical? You trust me? Listen, I need to see you at 7 o'clock. Tuesday night. Be there. This is where you need to be. And we'll talk business then. But you've got to have that. Don't say that with somebody that you've ripped off before. Do you trust me? No. All right? So, right. So those are just some, I'm just giving you some ideas. Don't call a person up, hey, Rodney, hey, I was calling to see that you keep your eyes open for additional ways to make income. My wife and I, we just got started in a great coffee company, and we believe you'll be wonderful for this program. We believe you really can do it. You know what they're saying on the other end? I can tell you're not making any money. Okay? So just keep it real simple. But all of those invites that I gave you, they don't sound like network marketing invites, do they? It's a business invite. This is a business. Network marketing is the comp plan that we put together. Okay? So does that help you guys out a little bit? All right, now. Okay. Now let me finish this up here, because remember, the 4 coffee and jazz mixers is what when we book those 4 coffee and jazz mixers, and then I'm going to take a poll over here of everybody who's real serious about going diamond. Now, diamond is the #1 lifestyle in the world. I can tell you right now, it's off the hook when you become a diamond in our company. I've been doing networking for 23 years. I've been a part of 6 companies. I've evaluated and seen and witnessed many of them. I can tell you right now, it's nobody who lives like an Organo Gold Diamond. I'm telling you, I changed my philosophy a couple of years ago. People ask me what I do today, and no matter where I am, they say, "Sir, what do you do?" I tell them, I'm an OG Diamond. They say, "What is that?" I say, "It's the #1 lifestyle in the world." That's what I do. I'm an OG Diamond. Some people, well, I'm an engineer. No, I'm an OG Diamond. That's way more impressive than when I was an engineer. Okay? That's way more impressive to me, because I know the OG Diamond lifestyle. I'm telling you, and we're going to show you how to set yourself up for diamond if you want to be a diamond. It's going to take some work. And right now, I'm telling you right now, in the very beginning, you're here, you're launching with Rick and Brenda. Right now, you have the best opportunity to set up the next 50 years of your life right now. But you can't wait. You can't wait. Say, okay, let me see how it works. I'm gonna see. Let me just check it out. See if it's gonna last for the first 20 years first. Then I'll do. No. Get this thing done. So you book 4 coffee and jazz mixers. Can I give y'all the secret? The secret is number 3. Now, there's only one thing that I do know, is that all of you, even though I'm giving you the secret, you don't want it. Not everybody. Some of you do, not everybody. Coffee and jazz mixers, small group presentations, is where the money is in Organo Gold. That's where it's at. The money is not in, okay, well, honey, we're going to go to the meeting on Tuesday nights. Let me ask you a question. Anybody know who's the largest retailer in the world? Walmart. What if they open 1 day a week? Yeah, exactly. They go out of business. They're not the largest because they're the cheapest. They're not the largest retailer in the world because they got the highest quality of product. They're the largest because they've got more hours of operation than any other retail company in the world. Real simple. More hours of operation. So if you're in the coffee business, the only day and the only time your business is open for expansion is when you're doing a coffee and jazz mixer. Is when you have prospects in seats and you have heated up some water and you're giving a presentation either by the DVD or you're standing in front of the room and you're talking to them a little bit. That's the only time your business is open. So if you're coming to the Tuesday night meeting and that's the only activity that you're doing, your business is open 1 day a week. Name a successful company that you know of who opens 1 day a week. Yours won't be any different. Y'all said I can be real with you, right? Rick, I can tell them the truth. I know I'm going to blow a couple of them out, but it's okay if I tell them the truth, right? Your business will be no different. I can prove it to you. I can show you the people who don't do CJMs and open their stores, and I can also show you the same people who are still waiting to achieve their goals in this company. Good people, but I can also show you the people who said, hold on for a second, you mean to tell me this is the key? And when I showed this to Jose Ardon, he misheard me. He didn't hear 4 CJMs a week, he heard 4 a day. And he's the first Crown Ambassador in the company, 28 years old. Hold on. And he lived in a one-bedroom apartment when he got started. Remember, you don't do CJMs in your house forever. The maximum that you should ever do in your house is 3 to 4. You do those first ones, and don't keep inviting everybody back to your house. It'll slow down. What you do is the only purpose for doing a CJM, Rodney, is to do another CJM. That's the only purpose. The only purpose for going to Lauren's house is, what's your name? Eric. So Eric is your guest, is so I can now get into Eric's house. And I move from Eric's house to, what's your name?
Bud.
Bud's house. Then I go from Bud's to Charles's house. It's all still in her group. So I'm not staying in my house. You know how when I first got started, I did CJMs in my house for maybe about my first 3 or 4 days. After that, I was out of my house and I was in everybody else's house. I haven't had a CJM in my house for a long time. People say, oh, Holton, you mean to tell me you had all those people in your house? What about your furniture? I said, I wanted to mess it up because I wanted to make enough money to buy some new stuff. And we did. Okay? And so that's the philosophy I want you to have. Don't think, well, my furniture, we just got new furniture. That's okay. Pack it out. Mess it up. Spill coffee on it. Just do it often enough where you can buy another one. All right? Now, so this is the concept here. All right? The 4 coffee and jazz mixers. I can tell you right now, if you look at our top earners that we have, they're cranking this thing out. Brenda and Lauren, they did their first one. What was that, Monday night or something? Or Monday night? Was it fun? Was it simple? Did you boil the water? She boiled water. I gave her a lesson on how to boil water. They followed instructions. They had people who were there. Y'all have people sign up? Yeah, people sign up. That's just what they do. So you don't wait to come here. If you want this meeting to grow, you got to do meetings during the week, and you have those people looking forward to coming here to see everybody together. Okay? But what's more effective for me, I can tell you, is I love meetings of 5, 10 people at a time. It's more effective for me than large groups of people because it's more personal. It's more personal. And everybody will be willing to come to your house because they know you. Okay? Now, so 4 coffee and jazz mixers. I drew it out earlier. I think I got rid of those slides. Yep. I think I did. So let me draw it out for you to show you how to achieve your goals, and we'll wrap it up. So the 4 coffee and jazz mixers is where, that's the secret. Step number 4 basically says, plug into the system, make an 18-month commitment. Where's the monthly achiever calendar? Charles, you got your calendar? Okay. That's okay. Yeah. Yeah, bring me that calendar. They're bringing me one. Okay. Oh, here, I've got a calendar up here. I've got a calendar. Yeah. Now, this is what we call the monthly achiever. It's a calendar. It's really a calculator. This right here is really what keeps you on track, and it gives you a visual picture of sapphire, ruby, emerald, and diamond. That's what this does. This is what I've used to build my businesses over the last 12 years that I've been in networking. The last 12 years. These are everything that's in here is what I put it all in here. Drew it all out for you. You don't have to even think about it. You just got to follow the system and use this calendar and track your results. Okay? Let me give you an example. Let me just go to March here real quick. Now, if you notice here, this is a diagram that shows you how to draw out your organization. Okay? Let me also give you a clue, just to give you a little hint, and this is what I'm going to tell Rick. Rick, let me share with you how I want you to work with the folk. When somebody calls you up and say, hey, Rick, could you come do a meeting for me? Okay? After I teach you this, now you're responsible. What Rick is going to ask you is could you please he's going to say, do you have a camera phone? Yeah. Well, go ahead and take a snapshot of the organization that you've drawn out and just email it right on over to me. Because I don't work with, me personally, I don't work with people who don't plan their work. So if you can't email to me what you already have, I'm not coming to do a meeting for you. That's just everybody can do what they want to do at their own time. I don't waste time whatsoever because I can't get it back. So I know if I'm working with somebody who's not willing to track their own success, it's probably not going to be a great experience for them. Okay? So you want to just, you track your own success right here with this calendar. All right? Now, in here, it's going to show you, you're going to have the calendar of the month. At the bottom of each circle, bottom of each square, there's a circle that's hyphenated. That circle, when you fill in that circle, just simply means that you have committed on that day that you're going to do a coffee and jazz mixer. You've got to plan your month before the month starts. Okay? Did y'all notice that when y'all came in here that chairs were already set out? Y'all notice Rick didn't say, hey, listen, let's see if anybody comes, and then we'll bring a chair out. He expected a full house tonight. You've got to expect success. So what you do is you have to sit down, plan your month before it happens. You say, how many days per week am I willing to give a presentation to a small group of people, whether that's use the DVD, the Coffee That Pays DVD, if you're one of these people who don't like speaking in front of people, or whether you want to stand up, talk just a little bit, and explain the presentation yourself. Either way, it doesn't matter to me. Okay? But remember, in my opinion, you don't own a business until you're the one who's presenting it. Until you're presenting it, you're a part of your sponsor's business. You don't have your own business yet. Okay? I'm just being candid with you, giving it to you real. Okay? Now, so you decide in the very beginning how many days per week you're going to do it. Is it reasonable to say that for those of you who you're here late tonight, which means that you want to make some money? Okay? Is it reasonable to say for you that you would be willing to open your store at least 4 days a week? Raise your hands if you're willing to open your store 4 days a week. Okay? Now, that simply means that you're going to do 4 CJMs per week. 4, not 4 one-on-ones. Your store is not open on a one-on-one. Am I discouraging one-on-ones? No. But I'm letting you know that a one-on-one that takes 30, 40 minutes, you can talk to also 10 people within that same period of time. You can't build momentum with just one-on-ones, talking to one person at a time. The purpose of me talking to Lorna, the purpose of me talking to Lorna is because I want to get into her sphere of influence and have her put me in front of 10 people. That's the purpose of one. Not so I can say, Lorna, could you let me talk to one person for you? And I talk to Eric. No, it doesn't work that way. I want to talk to a group of people so there's group dynamics and I can create momentum. So you decide, once you make the decision, then you go in here, you say, well, Holton, I don't have anybody personally sponsored yet. Great. Make the decision anyway. Because you're anticipating people getting in your business. And you just circle the days that you're willing to do a CJM. You circle it. Once you circle those days, then what you need to do is you got to commit to completing what you plan to do. Okay? You just got to commit to it. I promise you, lady, you don't have to learn anything else. If you learn and master this, you can create any amount of income you want to create. This is all that I do. People say, well, man, I know you've got some other secrets. Yeah, I do. I work my plan, and I plan my work. And because if I promise myself something, I got to get it done because otherwise I'm lying to me. I can't fake me out. So I'm going to circle it. Now, when I first got started, I'm not going to blow you guys out with this one, but I was doing 4 a day. But I had big goals. I was doing 4 CJMs a day. Not one-on-ones, 4 CJMs, and I was doing 4 opportunity calls every day. Why? I wanted to set the example in the beginning for my group so that they can see the workload that I was going to do. Okay? I want to set that example. I can promise you, if you do 1 a day, your group will do 1 a month. Whatever you do wrong, your group will actually duplicate it about 3 to 4 times. Whatever you do right, they'll do 1/3 of what you do right. This is the right thing. That means everybody's not going to do it. So that's why I did a lot. I did 4 a day, wanting people to do 4 a week. Rick, let me share something with you. September the 6th, we had our first convention. We had 1,200 people at our first convention in Houston. 1,200. And I asked everybody in that convention, I say, I need everybody in this convention to stand up. Stand up. And they all stood up in that convention. No, not here, but I'm just giving an example. And I said, listen. I said, unless over the last 90 days you've done an average of 4 CJMs per week, keep standing. If you've done 4 CJMs per week over the last 90 days, I want you to keep standing. And I need everybody to be honest in here so I can show people how easy it is to become a millionaire. We had 1,200 people. When I made that statement, there was only 23 people standing. Guess what? Every single one of them is a diamond today. Only 23 out of 1,200 people. Now, I made the same statement last in May in Houston. We had 5,000 people just at a Super Saturday. In Houston, you remember that, Charles? When we had the little stadium, made the same statement. We probably had about 60 people standing. And then I asked everybody to stand up. I said, how many of you who have a job, stand up? And everybody stood up. And I said, over the last 90 days, if you worked at least 5 days out of the week without missing, keep standing. 95% of people were standing. I said, you'll commit to your job 5 days a week, and you've been doing it for years, but you won't show up for your own business 4 days a week and share somebody your dream, spread the good news. And if you're telling me you want, because everybody always comes up and I ask people, tell me why you're in the business. I want to help people. But you can't help anybody if you're not talking to people about this business. So don't ever tell me you want to help people if you're sitting at home and your calendar is not full. The one who wants to help people are the ones whose calendars are full. That's the real deal. I can tell you right now, how many of you believe a diamond has helped more people than somebody who's never sponsored one person? It's because a diamond is busy working the business. Okay, so it's one thing to say I want to help people. It's another thing to get out there and work it and do it, and you'll see how many people you'll help. But when you set this up, 4 per week, all I ask you to do is average $1,000 in volume per CJM. That means if a person gets into the gold area, you've already met your goal. I'm not telling you to sign up 10,000 volume per meeting. I'm going to share with you how to go sapphire without anybody else in your group doing one thing. You just set up a calendar like this. I'm going to show you how to get your Mercedes-Benz. You do 4 meetings per week. There's 4 weeks in a month. That's 16 meetings. You average $1,000 a meeting. That's 16,000 in volume. It only takes 14,000 in volume to get your Mercedes-Benz. That's it. How many of you want to go Ruby? Let me show you the key to Ruby. You do this, and you have one person only in your business that has a calendar that looks like yours. You're Ruby. Most people think you got to have 50 people working to be a Ruby. No, 2. After you've been in the business for 30 days, if you're not a sapphire, it just means that you didn't go work. I'm just being real candid with you. It just means that you didn't really go work. You played around with it, but you didn't work. It only takes 2 working people in your business. 2 working. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, our company had done $40-something million in volume, and I stood up and we only had 50 people who were doing presentations 4 days a week. That's it. It's not, you don't need a lot of people, but you have got to make the decision that it's going to be you, because I can promise you it's very difficult to attract somebody who's going to do 4 CJMs per week when you're not doing it, because you only attract people who are just like you. That's why I told Rick, I'm not worried about you hitting. He was like, hold, you think I'll hit down? I said, Rick, do you know who you are lately? I see the fire and the excitement in his eyes. So he's attracting people who's just like him. But if you're sitting around wondering, okay, I wonder, is it going to work? Let me just see it last. No, you're going to attract wanderers. Okay? So that's what you got to do. Keep this thing real simple. When you invite people, keep it real simple. Keep it short. Don't explain anything whatsoever. Learn those 4 questions. You can even use that on the invite. You call up somebody, hey, listen, let me ask you a question. Do you or anybody you know drink coffee or tea at least occasionally? Oh, sure. When you drink yours, just out of curiosity, how did you drink it? Black or cream and sugar? They'll tell you. Who's your favorite brand? And they'll tell you. You know, I think I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask anyway. Rodney, when's the last time they ever paid you a commission? Never. Rodney, let me share something with you. I asked you those questions because I've got something that's paying me. Every single time people that I know and don't know drink coffee, 3 to 7 cents is released in my bank account. Is that something that you want to know about? 7 o'clock, meet me over here on Belcher Road. Just have fun. Stop being so scripted. Stop trying to be so formal with people. Stop trying to be this ultimate sales professional. Just be real with people. Keep it real simple. Keep it conversational. Keep it real. Don't ever tell anybody you're making more than what you're making. Whatever you're making is what you're making. Okay? But just be real with them. Use third-party credibility. Let people know who your folk are. I mean, you know, who you're working with. You're working with the best of the best. Okay? And so I want to bring Rick back on up here as we close out.
I want y'all to give Holton a hand, okay? You know, anybody, you know, I'm really impressed when Holton told me he'd come here, and what he's poured into y'all tonight is unbelievable. And I'm just proud to be part of this team, and I'm proud to help any of y'all do this business. And we're going to change a lot of people's lives here right away. God bless you. Y'all have a great evening.
All right.
I need about 5 minutes with you and me and my wife.